Welcome to the channel. This is going to be a review of episode 3 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a streaming show on Prime from Amazon. It's a good show. I really recommend it. It's enjoyable. Um, Before that, however, as I'd said in some of the other videos, it is not at all like the movie with Angela Jolie and Brad Pitt. This is more, I don't know, cerebral. Sorry, couldn't say that word. Cerebral than it is action oriented. I really like the writing in this, the dialogue, the interplay between the two main characters, John and Jane Smith. That's their assumed name. Is very good in the show, so I really enjoy it. Um, so let's start with episode 3. So at the end of episode 2, they have a strike against them, a failed assignment. But ultimately, John and Jane hit the sheets. Um, at the start of episode 2, they were questioning whether that's what's expected of them, and the intimacy, I guess, of actually killing somebody in episode 2 causes them to spend the night together. So, starting off episode 3, they are. You see it change now. The dynamic is more about them being happy about being together and solving that question about what they were supposed to do when they receive their mission, which is to go to the Dolomites. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, it's ski resort in the Italian Alps. There to check into their room and bug the room next door. There to attempt to at least bug the phones of the two parties in the room and be able to report back on a phone call suspected to be around 5 o'clock. So that's the mission. Off they go. Again, they start off fairly, I'm not going to say lovey dovey, that's not really the word, but very happy with their relationship and where it's gone and everything else. Um, they drill a hole in the wall between the two and put a camera through with mics so they listen to the couple next door who are almost just bitching, fighting, not getting along very well, and that somewhat starts to um, affect Jane and John over the time. But anyways, they're watching and waiting, and that's about it. And decide that they're going to go out to a restaurant because they can monitor what's going on from anywhere. Because they stream it on their phones or whatever. But they're again sitting there and having a good time chatting. Very, very good writing about their interplay, and the two actors get along fairly well. They're able to convey it. What's going on? Good. Um, there's a funny scene where they start making fun of each other's how they eat and stuff, but they're actually there to monitor the couple who is also having breakfast. They see that they have a son along with them, but the son is basically just looking at his phone with a set of headphones on, so he doesn't hear what's going on between the parents. They almost start to the point of breaking up. They don't really explain why that is, but again, there's a funny scene about Jane making fun of the way John eats and vice versa. And then there's a couple sitting next table. The lady drops a scarf. John picks it up and returns it to them, and then he's having a dialogue with them. Very friendly, kind of, just the same way it would happen if you met people from the first time and you're just being pleasant, where Jane doesn't seem capable of being pleasant. She's more focused on the mission, so eventually we got to go, and takes off. So they follow the couple, and sure enough, the couple is going to go ski. Um, and they're going up on the chairlift, and John is asking if there's another means to get down other than skiing, and has to admit that he can't ski. And in a very male thing, Jane says, "Well, talks about how much equipment it has," and he basically has done what most guys would do, which is buy all the gear, even if he can't ski, just to look good. So I thought it was funny. Um, Anyways, while they're on this chairlift, John's phone has gone off a couple times previously, and he's just saying it's spam or something else. But he eventually has to take the phone call, and it turns out that it's his mother calling. And part of their requirements to join the group that they've joined is they're supposed to cut all ties. Well, John basically says he can't cut off ties with his mother because he's the only one that she's got. So they get into a fight about that, and um, they anyways they go up to the top of the ski hill, and they're following the couple down the hill, and it's kind of evidence watching Jane that she can't ski very well either. But anyways, you see John struggling to get down the hill and basically wipes out. So he comes out walking down the hill with his skis because and says he can't do that anymore. So they continue on, and they go into some like a little fake village at the bottom, and where you can shop and all this stuff. And they are following the couple, and then this other couple they met at breakfast comes along and is just talking to them, and John is talking back, and they're maybe going to go someplace for a meal together. And eventually Jane just tells them to fuck off. They have to go, and she has a gun. She's going to shoot them, and they leave, which is kind of strange, but that's kind of just the way they are. Um, they eventually, again, they're starting to get a little bit. They're not getting along as well as they were at the start of the episode, and there's it kind of carries on that way. So they're sort of separating, and at one point they had turned on location tracking on both their phones so they would know where each other was. And then John shuts it off because he's just pissed off at her and doesn't want to talk to her. But when they split up, John goes with the wife, Jane goes with the husband, and you see interaction between John and the wife, and Jane and the husband, which is actually quite good. She has a problem with her phone because they walk into a sauna at some point, and her phone is not working properly. So he asks for a bowl of rice and sticks her phone in it, and uses that as an opportunity to hack her phone. Incidentally, putting a phone in rice does not actually help, even though people kind of claim that it does. And then Jane, she's talking to the husband, and he's, you know, just not sure what's going on and whatever, but he's worried about the son a lot. So Jane helps him out by saying, "Well, here, she shows him how to download the game that the kid's playing, so they'll have something in common." But she also uses that as an opportunity to hack his phone. So that part of the mission is done. Um, anyways, uh, the wife has gone up to the top of the hill, and John's gone with her. That's where they have their interaction, and that's where he hacks her phone. And he's listening to the phone call, and he's listening to the actual phone, which would say that they managed to activate the mic. And the wife gets kidnapped. So this must be what's happening at 5 o'clock, because the kidnappers phone the husband, and they want stock that she owns and something to whatever. So that's the big crime. Jane says, "Okay, we're done. We don't have to do anything more." And John can't let it go because he says that she's got a son. So you actually get some action in it because he ambushes the guys that are kidnapping the wife, shoots them all, um, and basically during that he gets into a knife fight and gets knocked out or whatever. Jane, there, John had turned on his location finding. She steals the snowmobile and comes to his rescue and grabs him, and He's freezing being out in the snow, although I don't know how realistic that is, but he goes into there's a scene of them in the bath and John's trying to warm up really quickly. Um, but the wife and husband in the next room actually have an interaction because the husband has refused to pay the ransom, um, as he agreed with his wife, but she's upset with him that he didn't, and they seem to patch it up at that point, which is sort of again along the lines of John and Jane. They start patching it up a bit, um, but that's the episode. It sounds a little strange to describe it that way, but it's not a bad episode because, especially the interaction between John and Jane and how they're trying to manage this new relationship they have, and they have their first fight and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not a bad episode. Okay, thanks.